Errors occurred to Facebook is used temporary. Wait a moment, try again. Go live. It's you that did that. It's you that
It's even my Facebook doesn't want to do it.
Oh, it says live with here. There you go.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys. We've gone live.
Good evening, everyone.
Good morning. Now, we're going to be talking about the DaVINCI Code. We're going to be talking about the property cliff. We're going to be talking about what we're seeing with JobKeeper, the big hammer of JobKeepers coming to an end. And how is that going to affect people out there? Stick with us. We're going to give you 15, 16 minutes of power in relation to these things.
Let's do it.
Michael Silich, power seller.
Good evening, everyone.
Power seller. How's that sound?
I like it. Sounds good.
Mark Novak, leader of the people.
Man of the people.
Man of the people. We're here tonight to talk with you about what we're seeing in the marketplace. So we're an agency of 45 strong staff. We're talking to buyers. We're talking to sellers. We've got an enormous amount of experience when you collate everyone's years of service to the industry. And we're seeing every single week we're reporting new stuff, new changes. Michael, welcome.
We're on the ground, yeah. Thank you very much for having me. First time for everything.
It is. It is. So tell me, mate, what are we seeing out there? So we just had a quick conversation about there's JobKeeper, there's Job Seeker, there's Austudy, there's parental payments, there's youth allowance, there's all this stuff.
There's a lot of money floating.
There's Corona supplements.
Yeah.
And it's getting pretty scary because people are saying it's over, but you just made the biggest smart-ass comment I've ever heard, and I loved it.
Well, the big one was, we were just reading a few articles before, and one of the main ones was about Job Seeker and how that's going to affect the property market. The biggest thing I can say to that is, obviously someone that's on Job Seeker, you're looking for employment at the time, and generally someone who's not employed at the time isn't going to be buying a property at that point. So I guess, what does that do?
It's a drum.
Oh, why can't we? But I guess the biggest thing from that is if you're the one, it makes up such a small portion of the market.
Yep.
Someone that's looking for a property to purchase that maybe doesn't have a job at that time. The biggest ones, in my opinion, is JobKeeper and all the ones that are supplementing current employees and businesses at the moment.
Okay. Now, a conversation that we had off air, which I absolutely loved as well, was when we were in a rubbish market. There was this spread, or when you're selling your home or buying your home, there was this spread we used to always refer to. Can you explain that to us?
So,
do we ever name it?
Not really, because it just depends what situation it's like.
The DaVinci Code.
Yeah,
works in the positive or the negative. Is the DaVinci Code?
It's like when you ask someone, "How's the market? Is it good or bad?" And it depends. Are you buying, selling, renting, investor? It really depends. But what we were talking about is, it doesn't really matter what the market's actually doing. It doesn't matter if it's going up or down. At different points, it advantages different people. And we were talking about, I guess, the logic and the rationale behind making certain decisions, and then the emotions behind those decisions as well, where even though it may make most sense maybe financially to make a decision in a particular market, people don't always make it, or sometimes they do. So first of all, let's speak about last year, how last year's market, everyone was worried about, is it going to crash 10, 20, 30%? And what we found is, and the market definitely did consolidate a little bit last year. And in a consolidating market, funnily enough, it's actually the best time if you're upsizing. So, for example, how? When you're upsizing, it's less to do directly with what you're selling for. It's more about what you're selling for.
Can I get some pen and paper?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So we'll run through the numbers, because the numbers is important with it. And then the other part is also, I guess, the emotional, what's right for you and your family at the time. So Mark will grab some numbers for it, but I'll start running through it. So for example, let's say, use round numbers. You own $1 million property and you're looking to upsize into a $2 million property. So maybe you're going from a nice apartment to a nice house. In a market that's come back, for example, 10%, your $1 million property has dropped down to $900,000.
Okay, so I had a unit in DY. Yep. I dreamt of buying a house.
You dreamt of buying a house.
The unit in DY I had was worth
$1 million first,
Okay, $1 million. You know, I bought 2 pens. Don't know why.
Yeah.
That's why. Smart. $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's a rubbish market. It's a yucky market.
Well, you own your property, it's worth $1 million, and COVID's hit, and your property's starting to go backwards in value.
Crappy market. So I don't want to buy a house.
You're in a fortunate enough position. You still got your job. You're still ready to purchase if you can.
Okay. So what's the house worth?
Do you want to use $2 million just to make it nice round numbers?
Shitty market.
Yep.
$2 million house.
It was worth $2 million.
So it's rubbish market and it's $2 million.
Yep.
Okay. So can I just write on the top for this purposes? This is 2000. Can I say 19?
Yep.
Just as it's a bit more exaggerated. Okay, so it's 2019. Real simple, guys. It's 2019. Your unit, that's a unit there. I've done a very good job. Your unit's worth $1 million.
Nice, 2 better.
And the house you want to buy is worth?
$2 million.
Okay. So what's your spread?
So at the moment, the way the market is, if you wanted upsize, it's going to
2019.
2019. It's going to cost you an extra $1 million.
You're going to add $1 million to your mortgage.
Correct.
That's huge. But anyway, big numbers. But
Nice big.
The theory works the same. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So call that the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Call that the difference between what you're living in, crappy market, You're not happy with that $1 million for your unit. At that time that was a rubbish price. You've actually taken a hit. It's gone down in value.
Yeah.
The $2 million house, well, that's pretty low. That's gone down in value as well. So that's 2019.
Yeah. Now go to 2020.
2021.
2021. What are we going to start with? The market going up or down?
So that's a raging market. It's bull. It's bull market.
It's gone strong.
Strong. What's my unit worth now? Like it's gone crazy stuff.
Make the numbers round again. Let's say it's gone up 10%. So your apartment's gone from $1 million up to 1.1 million.
Brings it with 20%. Just as some areas it's gone really
It's
aggro.
true. All right, done.
Okay. So we're at 1.2 now, kids. We're at 1.2. Okay. Market's pumping.
So you're happy? You're a property
Market's
owner?
pumping. You just paid 200 grand on your unit, guys. $200,000.
Let's go to the house.
I get your point.
Yeah. House has gone up 20%.
That's my house there, guys. How good's my house?
Oh,
Okay. Now, what's the spread difference?
the spread now, 1.2 million.
1 year. 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So I have to take a mortgage of 1.2 mil.
So in 2019, you could have upsized for $1 million. 2021, it's going to cost you 1.2 million to upsize.
Guess what the problem is? That mortgage, that's with me for 30 years.
Yeah.
Stalling my move for 1 or 2 years in a rising market, I'm now sitting on 20% more debt for 30 years.
That's very true.
So that spread of 1.2 or that spread of $1 million in a rising market, no good.
Disclaimer, this is specific for property owners, owner-occupiers in property. Different if you're an investor and so forth, but this is for someone that owns their property and is looking to upsize. This affects you the most because I guess the money you've made has gone up on the other end as well.
So the spread in a rising market is good for people that are going, is bad for people that are going up in value.
Correct.
Is it good for people that are going down in value?
It's the complete opposite. It's great for people going down in value.
It's the complete opposite.
It is.
Okay, which is good because you're 60, 70, 80 retiring, kids have moved out.
Yeah.
And not a bad, it's actually you're cashing out at a higher base and you're buying at a lower base.
You literally just reverse all the numbers we had previously.
So if your grandma, mum, or dad are looking at selling in a rising market, it's a bloody good time.
Yeah.
If your kids, grandkids are looking at upsizing in a rising market, it's got to be done. Which then turns us over to it's got to be done.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And you can't base your whole life decisions purely off the dollars and cents in the market, because it may be a different point in your life. You may have just gotten that promotion in your job, and all of a sudden you're earning more money, and now's the opportunity that you can take it. Things in life happen, or you need space. You're having a baby. It doesn't matter about whether the market's going up, down, sideways. You need that extra bedroom. So it's all great with the theory and the numbers, and if you can make it stack up with your life at the time, that's great, and it's definitely good to know. But at the same time, you've got to work in with your own family situation as well. And that's why we always say to people, whenever we're looking for our clients and that they're selling with us and they want to buy as well, we always say buy and sell in the same market. Don't wait because it might go down, which might benefit you. Don't wait because it might go up, which might benefit you. The safest way to do it is always to buy and sell, because you don't want to be gambling with your family home.
So I've certain agents now in our office at the moment have said to me that they have witnessed properties in the last 2 months change as much as 10%.
I'd say potentially more for individual properties.
On an individual property basis.
Yeah.
Like that house back then was getting X, now it's getting Y.
The biggest, in my opinion, is the entry-level housing market. So those houses that might have been, let's say, between 1.3 to 1.5, those are the ones percentage-wise I think have had the biggest jump in the past 2 months.
Okay. We've got any good news?
Got some good news.
Give me some good news.
Well, it's brilliant. First of all, obviously being a property owner, if you're looking, so all the downsides at the moment.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Downsides.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a property owner, fucking celebrate. Don't be concerned, worried, stressed. Oh my God, the market's overheating. Your property is going up. For on balance, the people who are there, it's huge.
It is.
How hard would you have to work to make that sort of money on you with your own bare hands?
It is, yeah. That's very true.
If you look at that puppy there going up 400 grand in 2 years, how would you make 200 grand a year?
Yeah. It's very true.
For you, probably easy.
It's very true.
But for most people, very, very hard.
Depends how many houses you sell.
So that's good news.
Yeah.
Another thing, good buddy of mine, Bell, looking at buying at the moment. I kept saying to him, and this is true for you guys, for everyone out there, I know 100,000 is a lot of money. I know 200,000 is a lot of money. But break it down. Break it down, guys. Don't be scared. Break it down. Break it down in a couple of ways. $100,000. Let's just do interest only because it's easy at the moment. Or $200,000, right? On an upgrade.
Yep.
At a 2% interest rate.
That's the beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can.
Right.
People now at the moment, especially when you're an owner-occupier and you've got a bit of equity in your property, people, obviously, we don't know the exact numbers, but people are accessing interest rates now as low as in the high ones, which is just, and Mike will crunch the numbers now for you in terms of, for borrowing, I guess $100,000 is a lot of money, or $200,000, but to borrow that large sum of money, it is.
Don't be scared, my friend.
It is so much cheaper than what it was.
Let's have a
How were
look.
high interest rates when you were younger, Mark? Like 50 years ago.
I'm your age, man.
60 years
What
ago.
$38 per week. Okay. So, buddy friend Charmavelle, this one goes out to you. So, guys, it's a lot of money. Okay, it's a lot of money. But just don't forget these easy numbers. So, you're intimidated, you're scared, you've sold, you got to buy, you're going out on a limb. This is horrible. Look at that. Okay, look at that. So for 100K, it's $38 a week in interest only, guys. So just do your principal and interest separate on this. Westpac, we've got a great mortgage calculator if you want to find it. 200,000 is $76 a week. All right. So, and some people go, oh, look, that's great. That's really good. Like what happens when it goes up? Well, you can fix your rates for up to 5 years. I think there are people who go even longer if you're really worried about the rates. But another thing you can do is you can actually build an income. So another client, cash flow today, we're doing some modeling together with him, and he's going to be moving out west.
Yep.
And he's saying, look, I'm in a one better here, money's tight, out west, I get a house, I
For similar money.
less.
For less money.
So selling at 800, buying at 650.
Wow. Yeah.
Getting a 3-bedroom house. Now, 3-bedroom house, you can actually put granny flat on.
Yeah.
Or a 3-bedroom house, you can actually rent out a bedroom now. You can't do that in a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
My point is, you can also, when you're taking on more debt, you can buy some income because you've got more accommodation.
Well, now
you know about that?
Yeah, relative. To be able to get any form of extra income on your property, so people like how obviously the government's incentivizing people to build granny flats or any form of extra income, because your mortgage repayments relative to how much debt you're taking on are so cheap now, or cheaper than they ever were before, that extra repayments that I guess that you'd be making are well and truly offset by that extra rental income. So a lot of people are looking at like, hey, it is tough when we're upsizing from that $1 million to $2 million. I'm taking on an extra $1 million worth of debt, but maybe your $1 million apartment, you couldn't generate extra income. That $2 million house might have a granny flat on it. And if that granny flat's renting for $600 a week, that is 600, that's $31,000 a year extra income that you're generating.
So you could be living in a $2 million property for less than what it was costing to live in your apartment.
Could be.
You ever thought about that, guys? You could be going into more debt and your cash flow is better off forever. That's big.
To take advantage of it. So that's another reason why a lot of people are upsizing now. And I think another factor why it's driving the market also, obviously money being so cheap, where you can provide, obviously the bank will lend you the money, you can upsize your mortgage, you can upsize your property, you're going to get a better property. And funnily enough, if you're doing something for an extra income, cash flow wise, you're actually going to be better off than before. You have a better house and you're actually going to be paying less per week for your mortgage. So a lot of people take advantage of it.
Huge. Okay, DaVinci Code stuff. DaVinci Code stuff. Where's the code in all this?
The bottom line is you need to work out, I guess from what we've seen, start with you and your family situation. You got to work out whatever your guys' goals are, 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals, where you want to go. And then you go, okay, great. Let's crunch the numbers. Maybe sit down with your financial advisor, sit down with your real estate agent, sit down with someone that you trust with their opinion with it, and crunch it through and work out what's the best way to move it forward. Because if you understand the numbers with it, there is money to be made. There's ways that even take money out of it, just ways that can advantage you and your family's lifestyle. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to do it. You don't need to be a millionaire to be able to do it. But with the right strategies, you can actually really set yourself off a lot better off and hopefully not stress as much as well.
There's almost two DaVinci codes. The one's your heart,
yeah,
which is you just got to get shit done. Your family's growing.
Yeah.
You need to get a new place, working it out. The second is your calculator,
yeah,
which is cash flowing. Looking at that spread and looking at cash flow, because the big top end, the high end numbers are very scary at the moment, Michael.
Yeah.
Like if I'm looking at where properties were 6 months ago to where properties are now,
yeah,
it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
Like
and
I know because I'm having the conversations every day with friends, family, buddies, clients in the it is.
It's tough with the volatility,
yeah,
because when it's moving so quickly week on week, you go. You can't, it's hard to plan. You go, this week working on these numbers, next week the numbers are completely different. It's really scary because you're like, oh, shivers, do we need to do something now before we miss out? But then you don't want to rush one of the biggest decisions that a lot of people make only a couple of times in their lives. So
and when you break it down, you're talking about a coffee a day. You know, like I think when you break the numbers down, guys, you got to look at,
take that step back.
Yeah. And just, the high end numbers are very intimidating, guys. So, but for me, the DaVinci Code moment out of all of this is the spread. Looking at that spread of doing things now or waiting till later.
Yeah.
No one actually looks at that spread, and then no one actually cash flows that spread. So I think looking at that, saying, what is it going to take out of my pocket? And as I was saying with a mate of mine, Vel is looking at the moment, it's very intimidating to talk about that high-end number. It's very intimidating to say spend 100,000 more. But when you say, look, can you go, if I can put you into the perfect family home, which is 100,000 more, but you're not drinking that coffee a day extra, or a packet of cigarettes, or whatever, it may well be worth it. So chunk it down, and look at those low-level numbers as well as those high-level numbers to make sure it works for your family. And the DaVinci Code also is, it's an emotional decision that you've got to sometimes just make. I guess
you never get anyone that ever gets it perfectly right. 99% of the time, it is just like everyone will tell you how much of a genius I am. I bought this property 10 years ago and it's doubled now. And look how great I am. I've made all this money.
Especially parents.
Yeah. So obviously there are smart decisions and there's not smart decisions, but overall, there's no way you can know that at that point in time, you're making the perfect decision. You can calculate all the numbers you want. You can do everything you want to think that that's the perfect decision. You never fully know. It's about making, I guess, the best educated guess you can at the time, doing what you feel is right, making sure that numbers do stack up and forging forward with it. The fortunate thing with property is the time you have, not the time you take to look at a property, but the time that you are in the market tends to wash a lot of it away. So as long as you put yourself in a position where you're not over encumbered, you can survive with a mortgage. 5-10 years time, even if maybe overpaid a bit for the property right now, it will go up in value and it will hold you in good stead. I guess the key is jumping on the merry-go-round.
So what I've said about the spread and what you've said about the emotion, it's one thing that both of these have in common is time.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you want to crack the code of property, time is the code.
That's very true.
That is the magic code, the magic thing that makes the magic leveler that makes all things make sense.
That's very true.
So
it's a thing that can, on the emotion side, time heals. On the financial side, time heals.
There you go, guys. Have a great night. Thank you very much, Legend.
Thanks, Mark.
You smashed it. See you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Cheers.